Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a Lego set, a model kit, and to hang out with you. I'm going to turn this like that so you can actually see them. Yeah, let me just go like this so you can see it now for a little while. Tomorrow's Halloween, so I put on these devil horns. Enjoy. I'm throwing the Barricade Lego site the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi. Aristofan's throwing those emotes in there. Welcome, Aristofan. Harold threw in the emotes, and also Harold is hosting the stream, so we thank Harold for that. Lashbrick is here. Hello, Lashbrick. Welcome, welcome. We're in the intro portion of the stream. We're waiting to see if friends decide they want to join us. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, so I wore this last year because this is left over from a couple's costume that my parents had. They had the devil horns and a red bow tie. And then they also had like a halo thing. And the halo thing doesn't fit well on my head. And so I went with the devil horns. And I didn't wear the bow tie because you can't even really see it. And also it just would choke me. And I didn't want that while I streamed. In extremely Austin Powers voice, feeling horny, baby. Do I make you, etc., etc., baby? No, yeah, so I got these because to celebrate. I'm also wearing, you can't see it because I zoom in pretty close. My shirt's got a ghost on it. This is a shirt that says, I'm so over this. And I won a game of TKO with this shirt. Matched the shirt to the slogan. And won TKO with this, so I purchased it as my victory. Also, it's a fun idea of having a ghost that's saying that they're over it. That's just fun to me. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're doing okay on this night that only parts of the United States have a name for. Some people call it Halloween, All Hallows Eve Eve. Some parts of the country call it Mischief Night. Now, not enough of the country calls it Mischief Night for statistically for you to have any idea what I'm talking about, except if you have heard someone else say Mischief Night. You're more likely that you've been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then you've heard the name. So, Mischief Night is the night before Halloween, which, reminder, is Hallows Eve. Hallow is November 1st, so it's 2 nights before November 1st. Anyway, October 30th, you go out and you do pranks. Maybe you ring doorbells and run away. Maybe you rearrange pumpkins. You turn the jack-o'-lanterns backwards. Maybe you take place some egging or some soaping or toilet papering. Now, some of those things people do on Halloween, but Mischief Night was the night you did it the night before that. And it's a regional thing. It's like Mid-Atlantic and New England and maybe like one state in the middle of the country. But that's it. And it's weird. And it's one of those things I assumed everyone did until I said it and people looked at me like I had lost my mind. Devil's Night. Yes. Devil's Night is also a name of it. But yes, as referenced in The Crow. But we refer to it as Mischief Night. And it's very funny because nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about when you bring it up because it's not a universal thing. It's one of those like regional things that I just assumed was common knowledge and isn't. It is regional ass regional. So my bad on that. But anyway, it's Mischief Night. I hope no one's getting into mischief unless that mischief is building a Lego set or a model kit, which is what we're doing tonight. We are going to take a pause on the Destiny Gundam, which we've been working on. We're body complete on Destiny Gundam. We got to build the wings and the weapons and the stand. But we're going to pause that. We'll come back to it. Don't fucking worry about it. And we're going to work on, right now, the Lego Brickheadz Frankenstein's Monster. I believe this is called the Lego Brickheadz Frankenstein. Which is bullshit because we're not building Frankenstein. We're not building Victor von Frankenstein. Doctor, pardon me, he went to medical school. Dr. Frankenstein. We're building the monster. So we should call it that, but instead this thing just says Frankenstein. So, but I'm calling it Frankenstein's monster because that's what it is. This is a very small kit. It is a tiny little Brickheadz. As you can see here, the forehead is this wide, you know, and so we're going to build that because it's fun to build something on Halloween. You may have noticed the past few years I have been doing Halloween themed Lego sets, the Brickheadz. That, like, I've done a witch, I've done a ghost. I don't remember what else I have done. A vampire. We did a vampire. And I think this is the last of the applicable. He didn't go 4 years of evil doctor school to be called Mr. Frankenstein. I do like this kit. The black and white is very cool. Yes, it is. There are some other colors to this kit, but those pieces are underneath because it is meant to evoke a black and white movie, a classic Frankenstein. Your classic Frankenstein. And also, with the exception of the outside has bolts that are silver. These are very shiny silver bolts, which I appreciate. So we'll get into this in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and retweet my tweet. I'm thinking, so you may have noticed if you saw my tweet saying, hey, I'm live. I did include a photo of myself since I am wearing a costume, air quotes. And I was thinking, maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll start taking photos and posting photos like, hey, I'm going live, just to like make it pop more than just the images of what I'm building. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I'm not going to say that's definitely going to be happening, but it's a thing I'm thinking about. Anyway, I do hope that more people decide to join us tonight. If they don't, as always, it's okay. But if they do want to come in, they're more than welcome to. So hopefully we'll get a few more friends joining us this fine evening. But let's get into the building, starting with Frankenstein's monster. I'm going to put this aside here. We need a 4x4. Again, as I said, this is not going to be like the hardest build I've ever done by any stretch of the imagination, but it should be a pretty fun one. It's a shame you don't have a red bandana. Oh, yeah. Instead of the black bandana, going with the red bandana. Yeah. I mean, I gotta have the bandana because otherwise I'm going to sweat through my face because I don't have hair right now because it's shaved. It didn't look great on the shaved head, so it technically looks better than this. Also, I wear a bandana for every stream, so there we go. So I do have a thing that I do want to talk about, like, kind of, not at length, but a thing that I know will take a little while to talk about. So we'll do a couple quick hits before that. And the biggest quick hit is, I got it in my head today that I want to do karaoke. I want to do karaoke streams. And I know that this would be something I wouldn't put up on YouTube. Well, I put up on YouTube, but it would probably get, copy strike, but like hopefully not blocked. I wouldn't keep the archive on Twitch because I don't want to get notices. But there's no good alternative to Twitch Sings. Harold, I'm going to get into that. That is the thing I'm going to talk at length about. So I will get into that. That's why I want to do a few quick hits. But yes, we will discuss that. So no problem. That is coming up because I do have thoughts and to reminisce about it. But yeah, I figured I would start with. Do we have? Yeah. I would start with the quick hits. One, do not be surprised if a rogue karaoke stream happens on a Wednesday in November because I've been thinking about it as something I would like to do. So again, don't be surprised if that happens. Of course, there's nothing quite like Twitch Sings at this point, so it would just be me searching on YouTube for karaoke videos and then singing along. And of course, because we're opening up from an app to whatever's on YouTube, I would open up the possibility space so that more people will be able to make suggestions of songs they would like me to sing. And I would do my research and have like a bunch available, that like a list of like stuff I want to say. But it means that I can get into some genre that I wasn't really able to do because they were limited. So, and by genre, I do mean ska. That there'd be more ska and there'd be more nerdy rock songs. Like I could do a Weezer song. I could do a They Might Be Giant song that's not Birdhouse. Or sorry, Istanbul, not Constantinople. That was the one. So I could do Birdhouse. Um, it opens up some possibilities that are intriguing to me as someone that hasn't really been doing a lot of singing these days and misses it. So I was thinking about that today. And then as I tweeted, like, hey, are there any good alternatives to that? It just so happens that Danica, um, who for a little while was a VTuber, but has quote unquote graduated, is what they say when you stop being a VTuber. She was a VTuber for a bit and is now just going back to her regular old streams. Was doing some karaoke today, which was fun. And as a VTuber, she also did some karaoke. But it's also very fun to watch Danica do quote unquote normal streams, because she still slips into voices as she does it, which sound similar to her VTube style. We rated her, I believe, twice while she was tubing. And I think I said, like, hey, if you know, because it's generally poor form to reference someone by their regular name when they are performing as a VTuber. In the same way that our good friend Xandra has had her quote-unquote daughter has VTubed. And it's a mouse version of Xandra. But still, we still say, no. That's not Xandra. And that's the same thing is if there's a Granny is a Twitch streamer, and that is a person who is playing the character of an old lady. While there are older people that do, like elderly people that do stream, this is a younger person playing the character of Granny. And basically, if you knew the person's real name, you wouldn't go into their chat and be like, "Hey, Mike, great job tonight." You would continue with the ruse of it being. You'd play along. Good evening, Dirty. Welcome. So yeah, long story short, I'm thinking I'm gonna do some karaoke in a future stream on a Wednesday. Bring that back. It would be YouTube. It would not be the VOD would not be saved here on Twitch. I would put it up on my YouTube because the place I put my VODs, my YouTube channel for VODs, Pat Bear VODs, is not monetized anyway. So I would just put that up and see what happens. As you can see, we are using some color here that we won't really see, which I like a lot about this kit. Is like, some of the colorful pieces are secrets they won't see. There's one called Indie Alpaca, who was a featured Fuse streamer for a bit. Yeah, so Indie Alpaca is somebody, doing a thing, doing a performance, and you don't reference it. Because I have a few friends who are VTubers, and the thing is that, like, I kind of know them and then also know them as VTubers. Danica was a special case in that I know her pretty well before she started doing it. Hey, Shax, welcome, saying happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you as well. And then Dirty asking, what would it take for you to become a VTuber? So, look, I have thought of experimenting with it. Really, it comes down to learning the software, and I would have to get someone to design the digital bear, my VTuber persona. I would have to get someone to design that, and then I would have to learn the software. So it's not one of those things that you just do as a one-off. It is an investment. Like, it makes sense for my friend Jake to do Puppet Jared. If you are familiar with Jared the Puppet from Dorkly and College Humor, that is a character that my friend Jake Young portrayed. And there was a cartoon, and it was a real puppet that he voiced. Now he is a VTuber as Jared, as Puppet Jared, and it makes a lot of sense for him to do it, because that is like, well, if I was going to do it, I'm going to go into that. Me, I would be creating something. Um, a talking bear with the rag and glasses. Yeah, most likely it would be a bear with glasses and wearing a bandana. Um, and it would be uh, some version of me, a heightened version of, even more heightened version of me, because of course I am portraying somewhat of a version of myself. I am mostly here. I am certainly my authentic self, but I am also hosting a show and talking to you, and there is an element of performance. Because this is a let's just do it. Hey, here's a secret. Everyone who is real on the internet isn't actually real on the internet. They are playing themselves at 11 or 12 or 15 or 100, because people who yell all the time on stream aren't always yellers. People that seem to play terribly on the internet video games, sometimes they're actually not that terrible. They're playing up that they're terrible. Some people don't have very obviously fake British accents. Maybe they're even British and they just turn up the British a little bit more, because that also seems to work. Everybody's fucking acting, and it's okay that they're acting. I'm playing Pat Bear streamer right now, which is Pat Bear, but also Pat Bear that wants to talk to people, which is not always Pat Bear. Because there are some times when I'm streaming where I don't want to be, but I do enjoy it very much, and I'm here and I'm happy. So it's okay, but this is not Pat Bear day to day. This is streamer Pat, and there is a difference, and it's okay that there's a difference. It's okay that there's a difference. We'll go back to this. Um, and at work, you play Mr. Aristophan, teacher. Indeed. Certainly. Wait, I think I just did my clip, so we'll see. That might be my clip for next Wednesday, because that was all right. I don't have a clip for next Wednesday, so I might have just decided that was that. Um, I've seen what Codemiko has shown of their rig setup, and it does seem extensive. Yeah, so some people are just doing tracking software on their webcam. They have the webcam, and they have tracking software, and they have VTuber rigs. Some are expensive. Some of the VTuber rigs are not that expensive. Some people are just doing the mouth, and the eyes just kind of blink whatever, or the eyes just do whatever they do. Some people have their phones, and their phones have a good enough camera that they can run the software on their phone. But yeah, it seems like a lot of, some people do quite the expressive work in order to make that happen. I don't necessarily have any plans to do that, mainly because, look, here's the thing. There's already at least 2 to 3 VTubers I know that do model kits. Char is one of them, and she's awesome at it. But there are several VTubers who are all, I'm blanking on one of the other ones' names, and I apologize, but I know 2 of them because we did the Plamo Weekender. Well, yeah, there are a couple VTubers that do that, which is interesting because they use because they're building, they use their actual hands and then have their VTube, their persona, their virtual persona there, and the disconnect apparently works for people, that it's this animated character talking, but then a real person's hands moving around. And apparently that works for folks, which is awesome. I'm glad it works for folks. The reason I got out of customer service, and that was because I couldn't play the dirty who gave a shit about other people's internet issues anymore. That's why I went into the back end work. I hear you. Now, as a customer service representative for various companies, I am okay at doing that because I genuinely do want people to get their t-shirts or packages or whatever, because I understand they spent money on a thing. Now, sometimes do I actually care after they have been jerks? No. But I do think that when you order something, you should get the thing you ordered in a timely fashion, and it should be the right thing that you get. Um, I haven't given up on that, even if sometimes I'm like, stop being a jerk. It would be great if you weren't a jerk. Anyway, sorry. I had an itch on the inside of my nose, which is not fun. Anyway, Harold brought it up earlier because I felt like this was probably going to be like the main topic of discussion tonight, so we can get into it. The announcement was made yesterday that PAX South is over for now. It makes sense because they would have had to announce it. Now, one of the big reasons stated is that they have to start rethinking conventions in this current climate, which makes a lot of sense. Another reason kind of given is that one of the reasons that wasn't given that I think has to be, well, one of the reasons that was given was growth. PAX South never really grew year to year. It grew bigger the first year into the second year, and the second year into the third year. It did grow, but it never it wasn't the hot ticket PAX. It was the chill PAX. And a large part of that is location. It certainly was great for people that didn't want to go to a coast. They didn't want to go to Seattle or Boston. But it didn't really work for a lot of people because it was in January. To me, that's the biggest knock against PAX South, which was in San Antonio in January. Because even if I could justify going some years, because the way they have their deal with the Boston Convention Center is they don't get the pick of the time. That's why they're not the same weekend, or the first weekend in August every year, whatever. They don't, or April. They don't get to pick. So there are some years where they'd be the first weekend in March for PAX East. Well, I'm not going to go to PAX South the last weekend in January and then go like a month and a couple days later go to Boston. Like that just financially wasn't work for me. And I think there were a lot of people that, given the choice between the two, would pick PAX East. Now, there were some folks that were very psyched to go to PAX South, and I totally understand that. I had a ball the 2 years that I went. I enjoyed it very much. Last percent as someone who went every year, I am not surprised, but I am really bummed. Totally. I wasn't expecting them to do it next year. I felt like even doing PAX Unplugged, they did West. They're doing Unplugged. They're going to do East, I'm sure. I actually didn't think that. Now, that they were going to do South. I know that South was tough. This is hearsay. This is not statements from any persons. It seems like they had trouble with volunteers, with enforcers at South. That seemed to be that and Unplugged seem to be the shows where they have the most trouble getting enforcers. So that's not surprising, especially with the size of South. Even if the attendance wasn't huge, it was still a big thing. We're going to put some very sad eyes on Frankenstein's monster. These are very, very sad eyes that we'll put on here. No mouth on this thing, just very sad. Like, it's sad, it doesn't even have, it has a line for a mouth. Harold says, I enjoyed PAX South when I went in 2016, but there are definitely some things missing. At East, I never go to concerts because there's so much to do. At night, I was at concerts both nights at South. Yeah. Panels were certainly a thing. There were a lot of local stuff. There was some cool stuff. PAX Latinx was an incredibly cool showcase that I think should, because of the community, the local community there, that was a cool showcase. That came in after I stopped going. So there were some very cool things that were happening there. But yeah, it was a different thing. I don't know the last time at South I went to a panel not run by people I know. Yeah, I think it was like the discoverability I think was probably down there, right? We kept saying, in the League of Heels / like Friends of Giant Bomb kind of community, like every few years the conversation would happen like, hey, is this the year we all go to PAX South? And in fact, would have been this upcoming PAX South, or sorry, the PAX South that would have happened in 2021. So this year's PAX South, which obviously didn't happen, I was thinking this might be the year I go to PAX South, because I hadn't been in a while, and it was kind of that fun thing of like, hey, what if we all went to PAX South? Like, what if let's fucking do it? Let's go back to San Antonio. Also, hey, considering the fact that one year I got stuck there, or I got stuck in DC because my flights got canceled because of the snow, and I managed to get a flight eventually, and that flight happened to be I missed a piece. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I missed a piece. I did manage to eventually get flights out of there, but I had to do overnight in with family outside DC because of the snow. And I still went back the next year. I think the vibe was very cool. Texas in general was very welcoming. They were very psyched to have an audience there, and I was really happy to be there. My very first panel, there was 1 p.m. on Friday, and I was like, God damn it. Why are they, like, I was happy they didn't put 404ing at night, because I kept saying 404ing it wasn't an evening panel. And they put me at 1 p.m. on Friday, and I was like, the show's floor is going to be open only for a little while. We had 900 people come. It was a 1,000-seat theater, and we got 900 people. And Harold was there. That poor Denny's could finally rest. Yes. Harold says there were quite a few panels during the day, though. I didn't make it to the floor the first day because there was Loot Crate's panel, LR's panel, Jen and Trin's panel, some panel called 404ing it, indeed. But I had a very kind of early Friday panel that first year, and everyone fucking showed up. And they also showed up the next year for 404ing it, and they showed up for the Southern Slam, which was our like attempt to test if we could do a smaller show, which turns out we could, and it's one of my favorite shows. Because my actual favorite League of Heels show, I'll spill the tea. I've said this before. My actual favorite League of Heels show is our PAX Unplugged show. Hey, we got a raid here from Nerdy Monster. It's Party of 10 coming in. Up C, yes, the debacle. Welcome, Nerdy Monster. Welcome to our Halloween-themed stream. We're building Frankenstein's monster. Who's plugging 404ing it in the Loot Crate panel. Well, I appreciate that, Harold. But yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, so we're building Frankenstein's monster. This is a Lego Brickheadz. Unfortunately, it is described on the webs, or on the description of this thing is just Frankenstein. They call it Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein's monster, but we're gonna call it the correct terminology. And as I said before, I mean, look, Dr. Frankenstein is also a monster, just a different kind, if you think about it. And then we're going to continue working on a model kit that I've been working on for a few streams, the Destiny Gundam Master Grade from the year 2007, which is right here. We'll jump back to that kit. But we wanted to do this because I like doing some seasonal Halloween, Halloween stream. I'm not going to stream tomorrow on actual Halloween because I don't stream on Sunday nights. Anyway, also, folks, if you're just joining us, I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits, Lego sets, and every Wednesday I play video games. So give me a follow if you'd like to hang out. I appreciate that. And just a general reminder that this is a cool community of fine folks, and you're welcome to join in and hang out. Lord Crashes is here. Hey, Lord Crashes, welcome. But yeah, we'll get back to that. We're also talking about the announcement that PAX South, the Texas-based Penny Arcade Expo, is taking a hiatus, a indefinite hiatus, which was not the biggest surprise in the world, but is also a bummer, especially for folks that don't want to go to Seattle or Boston. I mean, also Philadelphia is PAX Unplugged, but that is kind of a different vibe. There's various reasons for not wanting to go to that. PAX South, the thing with San Antonio was you could still get a reasonably priced hotel. Because even after all these years, from conversations with people, San Antonio still hadn't like really like started like upcharging people for it. I mean, there were plenty of places right around the convention center, but like you could still stay at some hotels that weren't too far away for a pretty okay price. Boston is expensive every weekend. Seattle is on a holiday weekend when you go there, so that could be pretty pricey. But like, I mean, so far Philadelphia hasn't learned about PAX Unplugged vis-a-vis hotel rooms and Airbnbs. Seattle knows when it's PAX. Everything goes up. Boston, some Airbnbs now kind of understand that. They're like waiting for it. Not all of them, but certainly a large amount have become aware of what it is. So that can be frustrating for people that want to travel to there. And just like getting flights can be quite expensive and all that. So basically, what I'm saying is, PAX South, it had such a cool vibe, and I'm sorry that it's on indefinite hiatus, but hopefully some locals and people that traveled every year there will go to a different PAX. They'll go to East or Unplugged or West and, find something. Also, PAX North, now PAX North makes more sense. There is no PAX North that I know of, but look, I feel like they're gonna do a Canadian PAX at some point, and then they can call it PAX North. Do I know they're gonna do a Canadian PAX? No. Do I think they're gonna do one? Yeah. Could they also just do a Chicago one? Because Chicago, like, the real thing is that I don't know this. I don't know what cities want a PAX. I know that San Antonio really fucking wanted a PAX. When Reed was putting feelers out to cities saying, hey, we're going to do another PAX, San Antonio was like, we fucking want that shit. We got this river walk. We got a convention center. We got like all the shopping. We got fucking awesome food. We are psyched about this. PAX North in Toronto. I mean, I don't know. I could see Vancouver. Because a lot of Vancouver people go to PAX West, so I could see that. I don't know. I don't know what cities in Canada read the people that produce the show. I don't know what cities they have good connections with. But I could see that. I actually could see Canada more than I could see like Chicago or something, because I don't know if Chicago wants it. Vancouver's too close, says Harold. You're not wrong. PAX Northwest, wouldn't it? I mean, dirty. You're right. You're not wrong there. That would be more that. So we are slowly saying goodbye to all our lovely colors, because it's a black and white and gray kit. So we're going to be putting this on here and saying goodbye to the lovely colors that you had just seen. Those are gone. But yeah, I don't know. I can see Canada being a choice more than maybe like the Midwest and saying it North. I don't know. PAX Southeast in Atlanta would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So the thing is, right? Like, there's nothing real. Let's say general Comic Cons compete with PAX, right? There's no gaming thing that really competes with PAX. The only thing that technically does actively compete with PAX is Dragon Con, because it's always the same weekend, and it's in Atlanta instead of Seattle. So that's like one of the big competitions, and the other competitions are just like general purpose comic conventions. I don't know if Atlanta would end up being there. I think Atlanta would be a cool choice. I don't know if that would be reasonable. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a conversation I haven't had a conversation with anyone about that, about places. Uh, so yeah, so my thinking is it wouldn't be on the East Coast because the East Coast right now has two PAXs. It has PAX East and it's PAX Unplugged. So my thinking it would be on the West Coast, and it would be a the real thing is I don't know when they would do it because now we got a winter show, we got a spring show, and we've got a fall show. So I guess it would be summer. That's honestly the real problem is that PAX East like is the spring, but also sometimes the winter. So I guess it would be a summer show. Um, somebody was tweeting about this. I can't remember who, and I thought it was a funny idea that they were joking about it, but they were like, PAX should happen during like the week of E3, like the weekend of E3, uh, and that they should just take over LA. That more people would want to go to PAX than the people that are excited about going to E3. Um, and I was like, it's like, it's kind of a joke, but also, yeah, I go to PAX during the summer. Yeah, I think like I don't know, a long weekend, like a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend in the summer, like that sounds pretty okay to me. I think that could be pretty great. Who knows? But I could see a summer PAX on the West Coast, and then September happens for West, and then I don't know. Who knows? But they can't do a show in January anymore because indie devs don't mind going somewhere, but big devs don't. Big devs don't want to send their teams in January anywhere. Uh, so it's just like I just don't think that works. Um, I would love a PAX where I didn't have to take any time off work. Totally, Harold. I hear you, and since it's for folks that are teachers, totally. PAX Deep South in Rio in January, it would be warmer, right? Since it would be summer, the southern hemisphere. Yeah, I mean that's also so PAX Australia is a weird thing where it's Reed, but it's like Reed Australia. So it's like not all of the same people, but a lot of the same people, and sometimes it is the same people. It's a weird con. Um, but the idea of like, and they've done like PAX programming, like which is mostly just like indie mega booth and some other stuff. They've done that a little bit at internationally. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if they would do another one. Um, who knows? Maybe they would. Maybe they would be gung ho to take it on the road again. Lester says, if I'm going to a PAX in January, I don't want it to be warmer than Texas. I hear you. Look, also, it was nice that it was warm. That was very fucking fun. To like walk the river walk underneath the convention center and come out the other side. Uh, to just be in comfortable weather, get off the plane, uh, watch the first year in the Dallas, because a lot of people flew into Dallas and then flew to San Antonio. The plane from Dallas to San Antonio was filled with people wearing their purple Twitch hoodies and then taking them off once they got to Texas. Like I just watched the waves of people taking them off. That was so fun. I had a good time. I had a very fun time there. I'm kind of reiterating that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. I haven't talked about how I love the food. I went out to dinner with a bunch of people. I ate at like places that looked like they used to be gas stations, which I love. I love that. Ate wonderful tacos. Had great meals with lots of cool people that I really admire. One of the funny things was I ended up at the night before the second PAX South. I ended up at a dinner like that Thursday with a bunch of people. I only knew one of them, and then years later, independently, several people said, we met at PAX South at this dinner that so and so was having, and I'm like, I do not remember that, but it's great that you remember that. But that happened with like 3 different devs. Late night Whataburger, indeed. Um, I stayed getting that food court in the little Riverwalk Mall. It was awesome because it was like comparatively incredibly inexpensive. I did get the PAX burrito, and also I got the PAX South pizza once, which was very authentic. God, that place was packed. Yeah, that Whataburger was just unbelievably. That Whataburger had like security, like manning the line. So we ended up with some extra pieces. We have an extra eye, an extra bolt, a few extra pieces there, which is always nice. And here is our Brickheadz Frankenstein, which is black and white and gray. I love that. I love that design. I love that it doesn't have it, the mouth is just this where the two pieces meet. It's just this like. I love that for it. I love its sad eyes. This is a really cute little Brickheadz. I believe this is now the last Brickheadz that I can build that has any, because we've done the vampire, the ghost, and the witch, and I don't think there are any other Brickheadz that like fit. I've also done like the a bee with a heart for Valentine's Day, but I think this is now, and I've done the Santa one. Oh, what do we got in here? We got another. This is our second raid of the night. What's happening? Hello. Verdant Tree is raiding with a party of 10. Welcome. Hello. How nice. Welcome. This is the Build With Baer Workshop. I'm Pat Bear. We'll go to the intro screen here while I chat with you a little bit. We'll do that. This is welcome to the Bear Cave. You're all here in the Bear Cave. As you can see, some people throwing the Bear Cave emote in there for tier 1 subscribers. But yes, welcome to the Bear Cave. I'm Pat Bear. And I build model kits and Lego sets. Indeed. I just built this Frankenstein's monster, which was a Lego Brickheadz, because it's Halloween. As you can tell by the horns, it's Halloween. I don't wear these at every stream. But yeah, I made this little friend here. And I was just saying, I believe this is the last. Whoa, haha, very cool. This is not meant for you to hold it in your hand like that. So we're going to hold it like this instead. It did not break, which is awesome. It would be weird for it to break because it's very solid. But we built the Frankenstein. But yeah, welcome. Please give me a follow if you'd like. I build Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 2-hour streams of model kit building and Lego building and sometimes other things. We're working on the Destiny Gundam. We're going to jump back to Destiny Gundam there because we just finished this kit. But yeah, I normally do model kit building. On Wednesdays, I do something different. That is, every Wednesday, I play video games of some kind or do a talk show kind of format thing, a just chatting, various different things. But Frankenstein, we just finished up, so we're going to put Frankenstein aside, and then we're going to go back to the Destiny Gundam, which is what we were doing. We took a break to do this. Did not need to use the brick separator, but I always have one handy when I am working with Lego because it can get dicey if you don't. We'll put that aside and we'll put that over there. I'll get that later. But yeah, welcome everybody. We're going to go back to the Destiny Gundam, which is right here. This is a kit from the year 2007. And surprisingly, it's pretty fucking great considering it's 2007. The instructions leave a little bit to be desired, but they're still decent. This is before the period where you had like a lot of English text in your instructions, which are great when they want you to do weird things, like the way these shoulders come together here. It feels very unique, and I was very confused for a while about how these worked. This kit did have some stickers. We still have a few more stickers to apply that'll be on the wings and the weapons. That's it, because we're body complete on this, but we haven't done the wings or weapons yet, so we're going to get started on that. And for those just joining us, we were talking about the latest announcement from the Penny Arcade folks, the PAX folks, that PAX South is now on the shelf and may return, but they're not actively planning, which is great. Only if you were wondering if they were going to do PAX South in January and you were a developer or a publisher or a panelist person who was like, hey, when are they going to announce that? Because it's November. They haven't announced it yet. Also, for the people planning the PAXs, they right now, do not have a December PAX and a January PAX, which is a nightmare. That's unbelievably terrible. That was poor. When they announced Unplugged, I was like, the first year they unplugged it was in November, and then it was like, we're moving it to December, and it's like, that sounds bad. Uh, I mean, it's not the worst time thing. Um, did you know they didn't cancel San Diego Encore or Extra or whatever they're calling it? There's a mini San Diego Comic Con happening Thanksgiving weekend, uh, and they originally they were like, yeah, we're thinking we're not going to do it. We announced it, but we're thinking we won't do it. And then they're like, actually, we're going to do it. And it's just like, that's a terrible idea. That so many people are now having to go to San Antonio for an entire week because if it's of any significant size, a booth like that requires many people to go and work it. So there's going to be a lot of people who are like, yeah, I don't get to go to, everyone's vaxxed and I thought I would spend Thanksgiving with my family, but instead I got to fucking go to San Diego for this like weird, not really San Diego Comic-Con. This sort of Comic-Con. I don't know. Seems bad. As it turns out, reserving space at a con hall is expensive, and they don't let you cancel. Totally. I mean, look, I'm sure there are plenty of people that were like, at a certain point, they were like, oh, we should go do that. And then they were like, wait, it's Thanksgiving. We shouldn't do that. But they're like, we kind of need to do it. I don't know. Like, it'll be good for the local economy, I guess. But also, imagine you're a person. Hey, you're a person right now. And you're like, well, hey, I am vaxxed, and I could spend this time with the family and like have a holiday with y'all, but instead, I'm gonna go to San Diego to a comic convention and instead of spending Thanksgiving with you. Sorry, I miss cons. Harold says, and then the last PAX East was in February, so it was 3 PAXs in 3 months. Yeah, it was the last weekend in February. So the 2019 to 2020 season was early December, late January, late February. So the people that work constant PAXs for their jobs because they were employees of Reed, that was real rough for folks. But then also, it was one of the last conventions. It was that Emerald City Comic Con. Not Emerald City Comic Con. I should say. It was that. It was C2E2 in Chicago, and then there were like another one somewhere. I can't remember what it was that I knew some people that were going to, and then that was it. Because there were some international folks that didn't even go to that. They didn't even go to PAX East. They pulled in. They were like, we're not doing this, which turns out to be fucking smart. Yeah, that was rough. So yeah, no PAX there. Maybe another PAX South in the future, as we were contemplating other PAXs that could happen. And my birthday was that weekend. My hotel had a little cake waiting for me. Aw, that's rad, Harold. At the very least, that was a good PAX. I had a lot of fun there. My panels went really well. It was the now only in front of an audience PAX Pat Bear's Anime Club. So that was rad. I had a great time in the city that year. Hung out with some good friends. Was happy to do my convention, my panels and such. That was a good PAX East. PAX Unplugged is going to be weird for a number of reasons. If that was my last PAX, it was a good one to go on. I hear you, Harold. Yeah, that was a good PAX for a lot. That will be their last PAX for a while. I didn't go to PAX West this year because I just didn't feel comfortable going to it, and also I don't really have the money for it. Look, I don't want to say definitively for sure that I'm going to PAX East, but when they announce PAX East is going to be in person, which I am expecting they will, I'm probably going to go to it. I'm going to try to get some help going to it, but I'm probably going to go to it. I'm probably going to do some panels, and it'll be a good time, and people have fun there. But also, if PAX Unplugged is a real bummer, then maybe I won't. But I'm still excited about PAX Unplugged. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird getting on a fucking plane. I'm going to feel real weird about that one. That's going to feel real strange. Get on an aeroplane, going somewhere. Feel real, real weird. But also, got to do it, so don't mind that. So yeah, this is the Gundam Destiny from Gundam Seed. It's a cool kit. I love the color scheme of this. I love the shade of blue that's used in this. I feel like it's a little boring in the chest portion of this kit. I think the chest is a little boring. It needs like a color. Like this needs to be a different color, but whatever. This is still a nice kit. We need M22. Great. I'm doubtful on East. My biggest concern, besides the obvious stuff, is my ability to get the time off. It's really hard getting substitute teachers these days. Totally understand, Harold. Particularly, I can imagine that you might have trouble with your particular classes to facilitate proper subs for that, or just in general. I'm sure that's rough. Yeah. Look, if they did West, I feel like they're probably going to do East. I can't tell you for certain they're going to do it, but that is kind of my gut feeling says they're going to do East. And if they do, I think I'll go. I mean, maybe I won't, but I am thinking I'll probably end up going. I don't know. Lastbrook says, a lot of people I see at South are talking about another Canada trip next June, which I'm excited for. Ooh, nice, that we can see some people. Hell yeah. Hope you get to see some friends and have a fun trip. All right, so then this goes like this. Okay, so this is all connected. These wings here, part of our wings. We're getting into our wings and things. And then we need some K parts here. Connect that, connect that. K50 and K9. Aha. Oops. We'll get that going. Wait. K50 is this tiny piece. Okay, I was like, where's this tiny piece I need? Down here. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, honestly, I'm supposed to be saving up money to go and move to New York again at some point. And spending that money on a trip to Boston does not necessarily seem like the best choice I could possibly make. But also, PAX appearances increase stream viewership. Without a doubt. Me doing a stream, a live streams on a PAX stage where the name of like twitch.tv/PatBear showing up on a screen increases people watching. PAX Unplugged, not as much as like a PAX East or a PAX West, but like it is like genuine. Like a PAX Unplugged didn't do anything for those numbers, unfortunately, because it's very niche. But legitimately, me being like, hey, I'm here. You came to see a panel of mine. Hey, did you know I stream? Are people watching along? Because those numbers are good numbers. Increases viewership for several months on my streams. And so it's like, okay, like I am aware of that. And it's not like the only reason for me to go, but it is a reason to go to something like that, is the idea that, if I go to one of these conventions, it is promoting what I do here. To somebody who might not know. The same reason why, like, because there are still people who are like, oh, I didn't know you stream. And I've been doing it for 4 years, and they know me from League of Heels, or they know me from appearances on Giant Bomb, or they might even know me from comedy stuff in New York. And at least a few people were like, oh, yeah, you've been on Waypoint stuff like a couple times, right? It's like, yeah. Like, there are people who just don't know that I do stuff like this, so giving them a chance to find out about it does make it worth it to go to these events. So it is like, and also it's a fun fucking weekend. Like that's the other thing that I always remind myself is like, this PAX Unplugged might not bring in numbers, and in fact, I won't be streaming on Thursday or Saturday that week. So in certain ways it hurts me because people won't be tuning into my live streams while I'm there. Because I'm not going to be in a position to stream while I'm there. So it, in fact, could hurt me in the short term. But Also, having a fun weekend is sounds fucking great. I'm excited about the idea of having a good time. Harold says, um, uh, I was actually considering getting Daytona 500 tickets for me and my dad with the money I would have spent on PAX, but there are still concerns with the live event. Totally understand that. Yeah. I wish I would have said the words twitch.com .tv/ Harold HBOW and friends during my brief appearance at the last PAX Rumble. Yeah, I mean, promote yourself. But it is a thing that I'm like, it is advertisement. It is like it, people in a live attendance, people watching at home. Like, it is a good way of being like, hey, I'm doing a thing. I do things. If you liked this, you might like the other things I do, which is true. That's not a lie. So, yeah, that is part of it. It's like, whatever. This is all business. And it's all fun. This is a fun business of, like, fun things I like to do. And I want to make that clear, because sometimes when people talk about these kind of things, like, there are some folks that tune out because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about, like, any of that stuff. They just want to be entertained and have a good time. And the realities of what it means to be a streamer and like, there are some people that never want to hear you call this a business. And I get that. I understand that. But it is, this is my part-time job. Being a Twitch streamer is my part-time job because I am an affiliate, and I have other revenue sources that are tied to this as well. And even if a lot of the money that I make gets dumped back into this, it still is a business, and it is a job. And I do take that, responsibility seriously as well. All right, so this is going to go in here, and this is going to go in. This goes in there, and then this goes in here. All right, so that goes now. Okay, that's going to move around a little bit like a piston. It is fun when they have these weird fake pistons in there. That is a good bit of business when those are included. All right, and then it's going to go like this. All right, great. We're nowhere near done with this one of these wings, but we've gotten, like, this part done. You can see some movement. Oh, and if I move that, you can see it. Oh, there's a piston there moving around. We'll probably panel line all this when it's done. Right now, we'll just move on. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a minute or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, which I always do on these streams. And then, but like, let's get more of this big wing done. These wonderful, beautiful, big red wings. Fantastic looking. We'll get that there. There. All right. But yeah. I am excited for Unplugged. I still have more to do to prep for it. I still need to book guests. I have guests booked. I need to book more guests because improvised postmortem doesn't really work if people aren't there. And I have been punished is not the right word. I do have the difficulty of having a panel on a Saturday evening, whereas some of the people I have asked to be on my thing have conflicting evening panels. Daytime panels, sometimes it's easier, but evening panels are often harder to book. Especially when there's only 2 evenings instead of, like, if it's a 4-day con, there's 3 evenings, but there's not. There's only 2 evenings, so it can be a little difficult to book talent or something like that if you are limited, because people are like, oh yeah, and I'm already on a Saturday panel. Sorry. Also because there are no concerts at PAX Unplugged, so you basically, evening entertainment is an important one to, like, really have a lot of people available. So I am still working on it, working on getting people to say yes to being on that panel. Dirty says, my grandpa used to call my grandma's creepy ass porcelain dolls that sold for a few hundred a month her hobby. It makes you if it makes you money, it's a business. Yeah, porcelain dolls that sold for a few hundred a month. Yeah, it sold for a few. Like that's yeah, that's a business. Like, look, it's still this is still I'm still a hobbyist. I'm a hobbyist model kit. I'm an enthusiast model kit builder. I'm not an expert or a master or anything like that. This is still like, as I have trouble putting on a very simple piece. I say that with no no false humble there. Like literally just like running into a problem trying to get this together. No, like yeah, I think like it's a business. I enjoy doing it. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about model kits and work on, like this kit. I'm really happy to be working on. The next thing we're working on, I can't fucking wait to build that Millennium puzzle. Like that's gonna be so fun. Like that's the next thing we get to do here. Like that's so. It's bonkers sometimes when I think about how I get to do weird stuff like this and have such a good time doing it. That this is like part of what of my life is working on like model kits. It's just it is weird and great. Okay, so this doesn't want to stay on, so something's maybe off with it. Just but yeah, I try to be like, oh yeah, well, my job is streaming and I build cool model kits on stream. That's just like a part of my life doing that. All right, so let's try. Why didn't this work? This should be about here and lock in. That looks good. Okay. And what about this other one? Can I lock this in? Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then snap this together. Okay. All right. All right. That seemed to work. No, this thing likes to pop off, it looks like. Maybe when I put the other piece on, the other two pieces on, it'll want to stay on better. But right now, this seems kind of flimsy. So that's not great. We'll investigate more. My tracking for the puzzle hasn't updated since Thursday. I hope it somehow gets here early. Yeah, Lashbrook, I mean, hey, this is my advice to everybody. Tracking is wrong. Like my tracking for the Millennium puzzle that I got was like picked up en route to carrier, like the big hub where it was shipping from in Florida, and then it arrived. And then it scanned that it had been delivered. USPS tracking is just they're not scanning stuff. They're just moving it as fast as they can, or they're not updating the websites. Like you honestly can't believe anything you read on those. It does look like the thing I bought from Gundam Plan is shipping. Part of New Jersey's big parcel sorting plant is still has still collapsed roof from water. So the idea that I got an exception. Basically, I got a notice on my order saying like, don't ask about the tracking. Anyway, we're gonna take a pause for the calls. We'll come back to these wings in a moment or two. If you're new to the stream, this is an opportunity for me to talk about ways you can support what I do here. I'll go through these very quickly. We'll get back to building as soon as I can. But these are just like a couple ways that you can, if you'd like, support what I do here. First and foremost, let's throw the Bear Cave Lego the Scythe emote into chat. My friend Xandra made these emotes. She's the best. And yeah, throwing these emotes in. Being a subscriber, getting those $5 a month, or using your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime link with your Twitch, you can use that. The easy way to support what I do, and probably the simplest. And you get these cool emotes. You don't see ads on my stream. I don't think I'll ever go to subscriber only chat, but if we blow up suddenly and I gotta do that, I'll do that. But anyway, that is an easy way to support what I do here. So consider becoming a subscriber or gifting a sub. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community, like Aristophan and Razgriz, and Longvitus, and also Harold did that also this month. Gifting a sub is an easy way to support what I do, and the numbers go up, and we like to see that. And if you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that to a regular subscription, and you don't get charged until your gift sub is over. Bits and coins also always appreciated. Harold and Bald Ridge gave some bits this month, which I appreciate very much. Thank you to everybody that did that. Alternatively, don't do it today or tomorrow, but on Monday, if you want to join my Patreon, join that, because you'll get charged. And I don't want you to get charged for like the rest of this month and then also get charged November 1st. So join me in November at patreon.com/PatBear. There's $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. It's an easy way to support what I do. If you want to support me for free, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to support me with money, then you can jump over to YouTube and join the membership there. $2 a month. Every video that I put out on Wednesday, because I have a Wednesday series, you'll get that on Tuesday instead. So consider doing that, because it would be cool. That is another way to support what I do. Direct donations. I have 3 ways to do that: through Streamlabs, through Ko-fi, and through PayPal directly, or Ko-fi, whatever it is. You can do that. Everything I make through direct donations, through AdSense and YouTube memberships, through Twitch, through Patreon, all goes into buying model kits and equipments. I have a fund set up, and then model kits and Lego sets I buy with money that I take out of that fund. The Frankenstein that I just built, Frankenstein's monster, that Lego set, this friend right here, I built this, or bought this with money out of that fund. So you can support me for that various ways. The Destiny Gundam, which I'm currently building right now, that was bought with money from my, that was bought from my Amazon wishlist. No money exchanged hands on my end. It was money bought by Razgris2. Spent money. I'm messing up my words. Anyway, I have an Amazon wishlist. And the kit I'm working on came from that, is what I'm saying there. I have Lego sets on there. I have model kits that are inexpensive, model kits that are very expensive, model kits that are like dropping in price a little bit, which is nice to see. It's like, oh, you can save $1 on that, on the Freedom Gundam. Like, okay, that's cool. Kits that are way too expensive, and why would anyone spend $47 on a high grade? Or, like, no, that's not feasible. What's going on there? Who's going to spend $56 on, on a high grade? I don't know. It'll drop in price someday, maybe. And I got some equipment at the bottom that you could buy if that's more your speed. If you buy something from my wish list, I'll build it on stream. It jumps the queue just like the Destiny Gundam did. Alternative to that is you could buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. You get a code in your email, and then you could send me that code. My DMs are open on Twitch, so you can do that. And it is similar to supporting me with an Amazon wishlist, in that I will shoot a video about the thing you bought and it'll jump the queue. Because I got a bunch of stuff waiting for me to build, but if someone buys something off my wishlist, it jumps the queue. It becomes the next thing I built. A couple video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building. Don't worry, we'll get back into work on this. Let's see. Pat Bear's Anime Club is a video series that I do. And in this episode, I talk about some shows that came out this year that you should watch instead of just about anything that's happening in the fall anime season, because it's a bad season with not a lot of good stuff. And then Best of Build With Baer is a video. It's always a clip from something from the streams. And this particular clip, it is from Jackbox, a Jackbox game that we played, where I was just very confused about the art that was submitted. I didn't understand what it was. So it's just me trying to talk it out and trying to feel my feelings. I'm going to drink a little water. I'm going to then talk about some manga while I continue to work on the Destiny Gundam. So we'll go back to the overhead there and jump into that and talk about some manga and Destiny Gundam. Great. We got some long-ass titles right now. We got some long-ass... Were these light novels? Of course they were light novels. Titles coming your way. So let's get into that. First I gotta find... Ooh. Uh-oh. I need E. Where's E? Uh-oh. Where is... Hold on. Hold on. Now digging where tray E is supposed to be. I am missing tray E. Anybody knows where tray E is? I am found it. It was in the wrong place. I found tray E. I was looking for tray E, couldn't find it. Had to dig around. I found it. Nobody freak out. I got it. I legitimately did not know where this went, and it was in the wrong place. So I was really freaked out there. Because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can finish these wings. I don't know this. Anyway, the first manga I will be talking about that is definitely based on a light novel. It's called I Stopped Working Because I Was Expelled from the Hero's Party Who Denounced Me as a Coward. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I don't like shitty main characters. You can do shitty things, you can grow, you can learn, you can change, but like, if you are an asshole, I generally don't want you to be the main character of my thing. Like, even anti-heroes still need to be like, not the worst. And this dude, his survival instincts, I can applaud, but also I can think that his survival instincts suck, and he sucks. Our main character, it's not that he's a coward, it's that he's a good survivalist. And he has decided the way to be a survivalist is that he takes any shortcut necessary, including one of his favorite moves is kicking people in the nuts. He kicks people in the nuts. And then he did it enough that there's literally a line about how now people that are fighting him, like, when he comes, they stop short and to protect their nuts, which allows him to kick them somewhere else or punch them because they are now preoccupied about protecting their genitals. There's literally a moment where he's like, well, what would you say to the principal about us fighting? And the guy turns around and then he kicks him in the nuts. But anyway, our main character was in the hero's party and they're like, hey, you're a coward and we fucking hate that. Get out of here. And then they, weirdly, because it is just like, he's like, okay, sure. And he's like, oh, I thought we had some good times. The hero in the party slashes him in the back and they steal his stuff. And it's like, wait, these are assholes? I didn't expect them to be assholes, but apparently they're assholes. I didn't realize that. And that was a surprise. I was surprised to find out that these people were garbage. Anyway, he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's now been betrayed. He doesn't think he can, whatever. He decides, this is also why I don't think this character is interesting or good. His big move is, well, I'm never going to work again. I'm just going to mooch off my sister, who is the principal of a prestigious academy. So I'm just going to live off of her, that's not awesome. Anyway, how does this connect? Anyway, he ends up being forced into becoming a teacher, and just trying to see what this looks like. Okay, so this does flap over this. All right. Like you said, he ends up becoming a teacher, but he gets going with the lowest ranked students, the bottom of the barrel, the loser class, basically. And the only reason they're in that school is because they are their parents are wealthy, so they can't not accept them. So he gets dumped with these kids, and he's like, hey, I don't want to be here, and you aren't going to learn anything. But maybe there are a few people there that do want to learn some stuff, so I guess he's going to help some people. Anyway, it's not great at all. I did not enjoy it. As I said, I do not like him as a character, as certainly as a main character. And I don't care if he grows and changes, because he was not fun to watch. So that is, or to read about. So that is, I stopped working because I was expelled from the hero's party who denounced me as a coward. Not great. You know what is great and cute as hell and really fun? Daily Life of Sachan, a drugstore clerk. This is a lovely little romantic comedy about two kids. They're high school students. They're childhood friends, and they work part-time after school at this as clerks at this like deli, or not, deli, convenience store. And they have a crush on one another, and they neither is like able to communicate that. The guy is real loud. He's like and he's like, he's not dumb, but he's definitely not as smart as Sachan, who is really quiet and kind of expressionless. She doesn't really like show emotion too well, and he's like got a pretty good job of reading her, but not super. And it's just like them. There's a lovely little chapter where like, oh, they're short chapters. They're very short. Where like they realize like, oh, I call you Sachan like because we were kids. Maybe I should call you by your like last name or like your first name. And they like practice and they get very embarrassed. And she like pulls the she does a move where she like pulls her apron over her face because she's like, I'm making a very embarrassed face right now, and you can't see it. And he's like, I bet you're not. And it's really sweet and cute. I love it. I can't wait to read more of it. It's one of my favorite things I've read in quite a while. Daily Life of Sachan, a drugstore clerk. Like I said, the chapters are short. If this got adapted to an anime, it would be like, 5-minute episodes, and it'll just be like a couple goofs from each one. But it's real cute. They're great. I can't wait to see more of the characters, broaden the cast of characters. I just love that they're just like, yeah, they're kind of opposites, but they know each other for a long time and really seem to gel well together. And it's just, I don't know, it's very cute, and I recommend it. Let's see. Oops, sorry. One of my trays fell. One of these fell here. So, what else can I tell you about? I'll tell you about magic training for the Strongest Swordsman. Start over from level 1 while keeping my 99 status. I think I talked a little bit about this on Thursday as a show or a book that I was going to start reading. This one's pretty fun. Premise is in the title. There was a swordsman. This place in this world, there are like labyrinth towers, and this guy has climbed up. He's gone as far as he can. He's now like, he's soloed. He focused on swordsmanship. He never made any friends. He just followed his sword. He hit level 99. He could never break to 100, no matter what he did. And he got in over his head and was like, okay, well, I guess this is over. He got reincarnated, started at level 1, and his abilities were blocked until he reached a certain age, but he has his memories. And then he was able to get all his abilities and his stats back. And he also has the ability now to break his limit. Reincarnation is such a cool trick. Indeed. So his thing was he could never crack 100. He just never could. And also he was a solo guy, right? So he's like, there's 2 things I want to do this time. Or 3 things. I want to break 100. I want to find some friends so that I have like a party and like someone can watch my back and I can watch theirs, and I'll get stronger by wanting to help people, which is, nice and noble. And he goes, and also, I only learned the sword. I should fucking learn magic. He's like, that'll be great if I could learn magic and like heal myself and like appraise things and stuff like that. So he's like, I want to learn some like offense magic. So he's like, I need to go to school to do that. I should also say it's not really dwelled on too much, but he is by the level 1 of the tower, and he is in a place that like doesn't understand how the world works, and they don't have anybody really strong there. Like, he's instantly the strongest person. When he applies to the school, he defeats like the strongest adventurer in the history of adventuring for that area, who's the principal. They're like, yeah, like, it's like, no, you shouldn't have beaten him. Why are you even in the school? And he's like, I want to learn magic. And they're like, why waste your time? You're a strong swords person. He's like, magic is cool. I want to learn it. But also, there's a thing called, like, everyone has, like, a crest in their eye, like one of their eyes, and they don't understand what his crest is. They think it's, like, bad luck, and it doesn't mean like low status, but it's basically like he can bypass his limits. So theoretically, he'll be able to hit 100 with this. So he's excited about it because he's like, oh, you all just don't know. His parents are nice. His older brother is a shithead, and he has like the sword skills. So he's just like, oh, well, you don't even understand that you're going to be weaker than me forever. He just has no idea because he's like, no, I have the crest for sword. Like, I have these skills. I'm going to be an adventurer. That's great. I'm so sorry you can't because you have the crummy, crest. And he's like, cannot understand it. Also, our main character does get a free ride to the academy because he defeated the principal, and the brother's just like, you're lying. It's like, no, he's not, dude. Like, he's clearly awesome. Like, I know you don't like your brother, but he clearly rules. Anyway, it is pretty fun. I don't know how long he's going to stay at this age. I don't know if that's going to be the whole thing or if he's going to age up eventually. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's pretty fun. The nice thing is that also that he's like not naive or like weirdly like, I don't know. There's something about a recent batch of the reincarnation things where they're just like clueless about how the world works. And like he's clueless in that he should feel like, oh, he can't do anything, but he can because he has all these skills. He has all these cheats. Or he should feel like, oh, well, you only reach a certain amount of level. Like, oh, you can only do this. He's like, no, I know you're wrong. So like, he doesn't understand like the perceived common sense of the world. He understands the real truth of it. I don't know. It's pretty fun. It's not the best book I've ever read by any stretch of the imagination, but like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So those are the three manga that I was checking out there. I would say Sachan, I'm definitely going to continue reading and checking out, and I will most likely keep an eye out for magic training for the Strongest Sword, starting over from level 1 while keeping my level 99 status. And I have other things to be checking out in the future as well, including it's anime talk time. I'm going to talk about one anime that I have been checking out. Let me get this ready here. Sorry. Faraway Paladin. This is the only show that I watched since Thursday because there's not been a lot of stuff that I've been really interested in, unfortunately. But I'm super into the Faraway Paladin. Basically, a dude reincarnated. He doesn't have like specific memories of his past. He just has the vibe of he knows he died sad, and he knows he died with a lot of regrets. That he was a shut-in. That he doesn't even know if he felt sad when his parents passed away. He felt empty. Later in the episode, he makes this point that I was alive, but I wasn't living. So it wouldn't have mattered if I died, like when I died. Like I didn't realize how precious life was, and that I didn't realize that the state I was in was this like nebulous state. And so he lived with a lot of regrets. He's been reincarnated. And he's just found out why the people that raised him, who he calls his father and his mother and his grandfather, why they're a ghost, a mummy, and a skeleton, is because they all made a deal with their dying moments in order to have power. They all made a deal with one of the 12 gods. There are a lot of gods out there, and they made a deal with Stagnate, the god of undeath, to make them into that. And they had a contract, right? And like, that doesn't sound good. Well, it gets worse because apparently Stagnate is there. Like, he showed up at the end of the last episode because he has want. He has a want right now, and he wants their souls because Mary and Blood are ready to give up their attachment to this world because Will is he's going to be 15. He's going to go off on an adventure in the world. And they're ready to let go and have Stagnate claim them. But Gus apparently isn't ready for that, and we get to see some cool ass magic of Gus like sending the avatar, the like in this realm body of Stagnate away, like destroying it. And it's cool as hell because Gus has not. It's been weakened, but Gus has not given up his attachment to this world. But it's temporary, and then also all of them are knocked out, and Will is trembling, and Will can't do anything in front of Stagnate, and Stagnate's basically just like, you know, if you worked for me, if you made a contract with me, you could be with them forever. You know, you'll become an undead. You'll be one of my servants. I got these plans. You could be a part of that. You know what? Tomorrow is the ceremony where you're going to, like, you know, you're going to make a contract with a god. You're going to get blessing of a god. I'll see you tomorrow. And Mary and Blood try to convince him, like, hey, tomorrow, just leave. It's okay. It's all right. Everything's fine. You know, the three of us, we could probably beat Stagnate, so you can just go. And Will, well, there's this moment where he tells them he's a reincarnation. He's never told them. He's like, I'm a reincarnate. I have all these regrets. I know these things of my life. I'm garbage. I was garbage then. I'm garbage now. I can't help the people that I love. Mary slaps him, which is like the most aggression we've ever really seen out of her. I mean, she slapped him before, but for like not a big deal. And kind of like builds him back up and is just like, no, you're our child. You're not garbage. We wouldn't have wasted our time with garbage. It kind of gives Will the motivation to, you know, firm his resolve. He's gonna stand up to Stagnate and try to protect his family, which rules. It's very cool. So the next day, he shows up. Stagnate's like, hey, you know, like, let's do this. You know, this is the way to protect them. Just like become my tool. And of course, he doesn't want to do that. He's like, no, I'm going to fight you. Stagnate brings up all these skeletons. They are CGI. They look bad, but they don't look terrible. They look fine. I understand why they're CGI. They don't actually look as bad as they could have. I've seen far worse. So I'm not too angry about that. It's not the best, but it you know, it could be way worse. Because I've seen that. Anyway, Will does pretty okay. He uses like the magic he's learned, you know, healing himself using the weapons he has. He does pretty all right. And then Stagnate tries to tempt him. And then Will attacks Stagnate and does like a pretty good job damaging him, but it's not enough. He's not good enough to beat a god or to push back a god. And yeah, Will goes down. He's in some sort of dead state. And that's where Will meets a goddess who we don't learn her name at the moment, but we learn soon. And this goddess he's met before. This is the goddess that led him to his rebirth. So it is a big deal that they are meeting again. But she is a goddess that deals with rebirth. So that is like who brought him to this world. So it is pretty cool that he's meeting her again. He pledges to her and makes a resolve. And he is given the blessing of Gracefeel, the goddess of the cycle of death and rebirth, who is a very strong goddess and powerful goddess. And yeah, he's, as long as he keeps his resolve, he will have her blessing. So he's back in the world. He prays to Gracefeel and he makes a counterattack. with her divine blessing. Now Stagnate's like, well, I definitely can't have you because you are, you made a covenant with her, but I don't need, like, so I'm just going to kill you, basically, he says. All right, this doesn't want to stay together, but I think once I put other parts together, it'll work. But it's not holding on right now. But we'll move on here. Anyway, Will uses some divine protection that Mary kind of taught him because he's been eating bread from Mary's god every day, so he has been powered up because of that, which is convenient. And yeah, he uses the skill he learned. He uses some attacks that he is from the grace of Gracefield, because he makes a vow that he will be her sword to vanquish evil and to save the suffering, which is a strong vow, so that he is able to easily use her power. But Stagnate disappears. Uh-oh. He's probably going after Mary and Blood souls. And we'll find out more next episode. Cliffhanger. This shit is great. This is absolutely incredible. There are a lot of characters we have not met yet because he has not left where he started. I love that it's taking its time. This was the 4th episode, I think it was the 4th episode, and it is no signs of it moving in any one direction. It is just taking its sweet ass time, being an incredibly awesome series. Totally worth checking out. My highest recommendation, I already said this season isn't particularly great. This would be good, I think, in any season. I would recommend checking it out because I think that it is top tier. It's, we'll see where it goes. Right now, it's one of my favorite shows of the season. So I would say, with big recommendation to check it out if you haven't. We have some time left in the stream. So what are y'all playing? What are you watching? What are you doing? I am now caught up on this current series of Taskmaster. I would say this one's like strongly good. I don't really have I have a couple people that I like in it. I don't have strong favorites in this particular season. I would say it's not my favorite, but it's good. So I'm checking that out. Let's see, what else have I been watching? I've been watching a bunch of people on Twitch lately. So, the usual, loading ready, run, doing their cool shit. I watched some of the Waypoint anniversary stream yesterday. I would say those VODs are worth checking out because it is a nice mix of lots of lovely people playing fun games and just being happy, reminiscent. It's good times with good people. So that was fun. John is. Oh, sorry. We'll start with. We got here. Rob saying got Planet Coaster and Ghostbusters DLC. Nice Halloween treat. Hell yeah! Always nice to have those Halloween games and such. John is playing the game of packing and moving and watching some original Ava for the first time. Ooh, okay. Well, Ava, while you're getting ready to move, is a weird combination, but I don't know what is it. But enjoy it, I guess. Do your best to enjoy it. Lashbrook started Age of Empires 4 tonight, and people were not joking about feeling like a history special. Oh yeah, the History Channel vibes of the tutorial sound I'm not gonna play this game, but that did sound interesting. And then Lagrange says, been playing Moonglow Bay, and that's a fun Canadian mix of Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, but centered around a fishing village. Yes, I believe Lena Rain did the music for Moonglow Bay, so I gotta check that out at some point. That is on my list of things to check out because, her music is incredible and she's rad as a person. So I would like to check that out. So that has been on my hey, have I checked this out yet? No, I haven't. Okay, let me check that out list. So we'll see. All right, so this goes in like this. This goes in here. Yeah, so I do want to, not just a tutorial, the main campaign too, which is talking about Age of Empires. Oh, and then Dirty says, I'm getting real close in DS9 to Cisco shaving his head and growing his beard. Just a few more episodes. Yes, when it really kicks off. I mean, there are some good episodes in that beginning, but it definitely, the pace picks up once those things happen. Moonglow Bay sounds rad. Yeah. That's definitely high on my list of things to check out. And maybe on stream. I don't know. I don't want to make promises, but like that could be a Wednesday thing, or just a Pat Bear checking this out on his own damn time stream. I don't know. Haven't quite decided yet, but it does look cool, and I am interested in cool things. Okay, so we got this on here. Also, I've been listening to just regular old ABBA because of Brian David Gilbert doing an EP of songs, of ABBA songs, but if they were being sung by various monsters and creatures, which you should check out on his YouTube channel. And it got me to finally join his Patreon, which I hadn't joined because I'm not on a lot of Patreons. Yes, ABBA. The music of ABBA. And this is ABBA. So it is Brian David Gilbert, formerly of Polygon. That made the weirdest videos for Polygon that are not made by Simone, because she makes the weird videos too, and she certainly made weird videos in the past, weirder in the past. But anyway, yeah, he did some covers of ABBA songs like "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme," "A Man After Midnight." If Dr. Frankenstein sang that song, "Won't someone please come help me dig up a grave," is a lyric. "Lay all your blood on me instead, lay all your love on me," from a vampire singing. SOS, if it was a sea shanty, kind of like a dirge more, because I think it's in 6/8. SOS sung by Captain Hook and crew. And Mummy Makes the World Go Round, which he admits is a stretch. And Under Attack, as sung by a villainous robot, which it already, Under Attack sounds like a song sung by a robot because it was the 70s and they were experimenting with vocoding. So that song already sounded like a robot. And it's real weird, and I really like it. I've had Overkill by Colin Hayes stuck in my head for days. I hear you. Sometimes songs just fucking get in there, and they're just goddamn in there. Lord Crashington wrote, "My favorite part of Moonglow Bay, Moonglow Bay so far is that a lot of fish are folklorish in nature. So you talk to people who have weird names from these underwater creatures you can catch. If you take them to the aquarium, they get an actual name and info from your fish journal." Ooh, okay. So like you get the like, oh, you want to get that bog thing, and you're like, what, the bog thing? Like, what are you talking about? And then you capture it, and you're like, oh, this is this kind of thing, but here's the folklore behind it. Ooh, I like that. That's neat, Lord Crashington. I do gotta check that out because, like I said, pedigree. Good people working on that, so I do want to see what it's about. But yeah, Brian Dave Gilbert's ABBA things got me to listen to more ABBA because ABBA is just great. Also, I will say this. His voice for "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme, A Man After Midnight" is fantastic. He does like a stellar job with it. I love SOS by ABBA. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And his version, making it the choice to make it like a sea shanty is a really interesting choice, but it does somewhat take my enjoyment away because he changes the key of the signature, the time signature of the song, and I don't love that because I just love that song so much that I'm like, no, that's not the rhythm. This rhythm is weird, and it's like, this shouldn't bother me, but it very much does. That's a small thing because I think the production values are very good on it. Um, there's supposedly a screaming fish, but it's silently screaming. That's very good. That's a good bit of business. And then John says, my partner got me a music box that plays the first 20 seconds or so of Waterloo. So that's my fave. I mean, Waterloo is very great. Also, the fact that it is tied to your partner is also awesome. I mean, Waterloo is great. It won them uh what do you call it? Eurovision. It won them Eurovision. Yes, Eurovision. And John answers as I remember. Yeah. It won them Eurovision, made them famous. That's why we know ABBA today, is because of how great their performance of that song was and how people were so fucking psyched about that shit. And this weird quartet, so excited about them. But yeah. All right, so we got to put this on here. This is like working better than the last one, so that's good. Okay. All right. Now I have Waterloo in my head. And that's not terrible. But I wasn't expecting to have Waterloo in my head. Apparently their outfits were so extravagant because tax law said they could write them off if they couldn't be reasonably worn as everyday clothes. Yes, I have heard that they're that if they wore like nice clothes, then they couldn't write off the taxes, so they had to buy clothes they definitely would never wear because then that would be tax deductible. So that is why their outfits are ABBA's outfits were so ridiculous. It's because they had to get that tax exemption as a business expense. That's important. Gotta have a business expense. All right, we're almost done with this part of the wings. We got a lot of the wing done. We won't get all of this wings and things done. We would have gotten a lot farther. Obviously, we hadn't built the very fun Frankenstein's monster, but I gotta build that Frankenstein's monster. It's great. It's cool as hell. I had to do it. You gotta. All right, so that goes there. We'll get this done here. We need G and M. We will continue working on this on Monday. Hopefully, we'll finish this on Monday, and then we'll start the Millennium Puzzle, I believe. But I'm going to say I'm starting this. I'm finishing this on Monday because we still have the weapons. I think this will take all stream to finish because we have to do the rest of this. The connector on the wings. Yeah, we got a ways to go here. The whole backpack part needs to go on. Yeah, got to build all the backpack and the wings and things, and then we got to build the weapons and the shields, the beam rifle, all the different the big sword, the big sword and the gun, and then the stand. So I do think this will take all of next stream. So I don't expect till next Thursday to start working on the Millennium Puzzle because I think this will take all of Wednesday or all of Monday to finish this. That's my guess. It's possible that we will that I will start on that we'll wrap up on Monday and I'll actually start the Millennium Puzzle, but I don't want to what I don't want to do is say hey, we're doing this, and then we don't, because I think some people who don't come to every stream will tune in, and I don't want to, I don't want to be lying to them. You know what I mean? But we'll get this done here, and then we're gonna raid. We're gonna end the stream with a raid, so don't worry about that. We will end the stream with a raid. We do that every stream. Go in and give some love to somebody else out there doing some cool shit. Find somebody great on a Saturday evening, streaming, doing their thing. Maybe it'll be spooky things, or it'll just be fun. But we'll find somebody rad out there. But we'll get this last step done here, which are the ends of the wings. So we're gonna do this. This goes like this, goes like that, and then all right, pop that in, and I'll probably panel line this off stream just to finish these panels, get this ready to go. But yeah, we got the wings done for our Destiny Gundam here. So we'll take that photo there. And that is the stream. So I'm going to get ready to raid. I hope you come along on this raid. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I hope you had a good time with the old Build With Baer. I hope you come along on the raid. Have a safe and lovely Halloween tomorrow. I hope you have fun. I know I will. I'll have a good time. I guess handing out candy or just hanging out. Like I haven't quite decided what I'm doing here on my end. Hey, we're gonna go hang out with we got Arthur Aegis playing Halo 2. So we're gonna go hang out with him while he plays Halo 2, because that'll be fun. So we'll go raid that. Because someone else is playing that I know who's great is playing Marvel Guardians of the Galaxies, and I don't want to check that out. I know some people are enjoying that game, but I'm not one of the people that wants to watch people stream that. But we're going to go hang out with Arthur, who is playing Halo 2, and that'll be fun. So feel free to come along this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Again, I will see you on the next stream, which will be Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we will hopefully finish it and put to bed this Destiny Gundam. Thanks for being here. Have a great night. I'll see you in the future. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.